Nebraska is going after a big-time transfer receiver from the SEC. So in today's video, I'm going to go over who this guy is, what he brings to the table, what his interest is in Nebraska, and everything else you need to know. So really quick, we're going to get a bunch of portal news. I'm excited. Make sure to hit that like button. And really quick, been blowing up on the channel recently. I post breaking news talking Nebraska football, and it's officially portal season. So if you want to stay in tune with the guys who are coming on visits, guys who are committing to Nebraska, make sure to subscribe because I will have the latest on this channel. But without further ado, let's get into it, going over this wide receiver who the Huskers are after. He goes by the name of Dane from the Kentucky Wildcats. He just entered the portal on Wednesday night. Now, of course, Nebraska just hired Kentucky's wide receivers coach, DeKel Shores Jr., and Dane Key entered the portal right after that. So there's instantly a connection there between those two. It looks like Nebraska is going to be pursuing Dane Key. Raiola followed him on Instagram. But before we get to all of that, how good is Dane Key? Let's get into him. So Dane Key has been in college for 3 years now, played instantly as a true freshman with Kentucky. This last year in 2024, he had 47 catches, over 700 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and overall just an absolute playmaker for the Wildcats. Over his career, 3-year career with the Wildcats, he's had around 2,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. Just overall has been one of Kentucky's most consistent playmakers offensively. This guy's listed at 6'3", 210 pounds, and will have 1 year of eligibility left. So interesting, very big body. That's the first thing that when I watch him on film, and you can see he uses his hands very well, but he knows how to go up and get jump balls. Nebraska really lacks size. If you look at this receiver room, we went from having all the size in the world last year with Banks, Nair, Coleman, to having really no size. That's what we get here with a guy who's 6'3". Really, what I liked about him, though, he's a phenomenal route runner, and that's something that Nebraska needs. We had size last year, but, no disrespect to Jamal Banks, no disrespect to Isaiah Nair. Those guys could not run routes. They could not beat man coverage to save their life. One of the biggest things that when you read the scouting report on Dane Key, excellent route runner with deep understanding of defensive leverages and how to create separation. That's the first thing that's on his scouting report. They also say that he has soft, reliable hands, good body control, good blocker. I know Nebraska fans are going to want to know about that. Yes, he can block. Uses his 6'3" frame effectively to go up and get contested catches. Again, really, really good productive player who's done it at a high level in the SEC, gets some of the best defensive backs in the country. So Dane Key is a guy who instantly has a connection to Nebraska, of course, with their wide receiver going over to the Huskers. Again, Raiola followed him on Instagram. There's been some murmurs around him giving Nebraska a look. I'd imagine he goes on a visit next week. Now, it should be noted, Nebraska technically is not in talks with this guy because the portal doesn't open up till Monday. We can't technically contact him, but I would expect him to take a visit next week, pretty early on next week, and things could move very quickly here with Dane Key. So again, 6'3" receiver, very productive. Kentucky's best receiver last year, a guy who can go up and get jump balls, a guy who can block. I will say this about Dane Key, he's not an athletic freak. That's the only thing. He's a good route runner, great hands, good blocking, good height, but he's not a speedster, and that's fine. We don't really need a speedster, but he does lack a little bit of top end speed. That's the only thing. He's still fine. He's still fine speed wise. He's just not a speedster, maybe like a Malachi Coleman, but that's fine. He's incredibly productive. I don't really care about traits, to be honest with you. This is my philosophy on the portal. I care about production more than anything. Okay, you could have terrible traits, you not have good height, not have good speed, but if you're producing and having great stats and you're one of the best players on your team, I want you here. Dane Key is that, and let's not act like this dude's not great physically. He's 6'3". It's just, obviously the speed's decent. It's just not great. So I know people are going to ask about that, but again, he checks almost every single box for you. Good hands, good route running, good blocker, good size, guy with high upside. Yeah, and he's going to be probably an NFL draft pick if things can go the right way. So Dane Key, the first guy that Nebraska's really been having some rumors in the portal. It's going to get busy, guys. It's portal season. So let me know down below your thoughts about Nebraska potentially going after this guy in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far in the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go Grad, go Rhule, and see you in the next one.